Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round.
It's 2013. It's Horror Month, and
the ball is back.
Oi.
Evil.
Again, Vince, another Scream Factory Blu-ray.
Another great, fantastic Scream Factory Blu-ray.
Absolutely. I mean, come on. Come on, Vince.
I don't know. I mean, they just keep getting better and better and better.
We reviewed The Fog a few episodes ago.
There's no one in the nation who's more grateful for advice than I am.
And when we were talking about it, I was saying, The Fog was my all-time favorite Scream Factory disc. Yeah, not anymore.
So it's been replaced, Dave?
Now it is time for you to come back to me.
Oh yeah, it's been replaced because just wow.
Yes, definitely wow.
Basically what Scream Factory does is if they can, they will produce two different covers. One original cover and one with new artwork. And the one with new artwork is always on the outside of the cover.
And the one with the original cover, as Dave puts it, is like the original artwork, the original poster. And there it is. And if you look inside, you see the disc there with Mike and Liz on it.
So let's get right into this, Vince. First of all, I haven't seen Phantasm 2 in it's been at least 20 years or longer.
I think it's been just about that long for me. I saw it when it came out on VHS, and then I think I saw it once on cable, and that's it.
And like what we talked about with The Fog is we're so used to seeing just these old, scratchy, bad transfers, and when you get to see it so pristine and so clear, it actually just makes the movie better, being able to see it like that.
With The Fog, they had the actual 1080p HD transfer. I don't know if they actually did that on this one, but wow. I mean, it's just fantastic looking.
Do you hear something, Vince?
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. I thought I heard something.
I don't know. Let's just keep going.
All right. So one thing about this movie is what I can say after watching it, first time in like 20 years, is the movie, to put it very plainly, is cool. It's just cool. Cool movie.
It is a great film, and I was always a fan of the original Phantasm. And then when this came out, I couldn't wait to see it. I loved it back then, and I still love this movie even today.
It seems like there's a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street in this movie too.
Okay.
The scene like in the first Phantasm where he's standing there and the dwarves come through the door and grab him through the glass. That's just like Freddy when he jumps through the door and grabs her and pulls her, through the door.
Okay, like the dream kind of sequence stuff.
Not on top of all that, then you have the Evil Dead stuff in the movie.
I was just about to say that. There's a lot of Evil Dead in this movie, and once we get into the extras, that you kind of find out why.
So the first extra on Phantasm 2 is called The Ball is Back.
Phantasm was an amazing worldwide critical and box office success, and for a young guy, I was maybe 25 years old, it was pretty stunning.
And this extra is basically just like some of the other extras on the other Scream Factory discs, where they actually get the actors from the film to come back and do little interviews. Plus they show some of the behind the scenes footage, and it's all new. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I liked seeing how these guys look. now.
I thought this was absolutely incredible. You want to talk about just going into so much detail. And this isn't, a 5 or 10 minute extra. This thing is like 35, 45 minutes long.
The only thing that kind of compares to it is on the Evil Dead 2 Blu-ray.
I wasn't expecting so much out of this extra. I was expecting to sit down and watch a 10, 15 minute extra. And then 35, 40 minutes later, it's still going on. And they tell you about the whole film, the process of them making it and how they came up with the idea and how they distributed it. And, everything's in this. If you want to make a making of something and make it really entertaining and really interesting, this is the way to do it, people.
So what's the next featurette on the disc?
The next is called The Gory Days.
The thing about the Phantasm world is there really are no rules. That's what makes those movies scary, is because you don't know what's going to pop up around the next corner.
Well, this extra is Greg Nicotero, I believe, and he is going over all the special effects shots that they did. It basically explains all the makeup effects and the special effects and how they did them, and it's a really good feature too. I really enjoyed this one as well. And you were talking about Evil Dead earlier. Okay. And this basically tells you they started this film after Evil Dead with most of the people that worked on the special effects for Evil Dead 2.
So if you watch the extras on the Evil Dead 2 DVD, you'll see all these same guys on those extras that were working in the Evil Dead 2 workshop that are working in the Phantasm workshop.
Yeah, basically they came right from that set to this one.
The Ball is Back is about all of how they made the film, and The Gory Days is about how they did all the effects for the film, and it's just as good as the first extra. And by the time I watched this, I was like, wow, this is fantastic. I didn't know anything about Phantasm 2. Nothing going into this. And now this stuff was so informative and so interesting and so well done. I could not be more happy with it. So next up, we have deleted scenes.
Now this is pretty much exactly what it is. Deleted scenes. The one thing that's really good about it is they kind of show where the scene goes, because they show a little bit of the scene that's in the movie, and then they show the extra part, and then they show the scene after it.
Work print scenes.
I guess if he ever wanted to do a director's cut of this film, this is what it would have been. These are the scenes that possibly would have went in there. It's pretty much just like watching the deleted scenes, and some of them are really interesting, and others of them were kind of like, I can kind of see why it's not in there.
Next up, we have TV spots.
They're the coming attraction trailers that were shown on television. And the funny part about this is I remember these more than I did the theatrical trailer.
So next up is behind the scenes makeup and effects.
These people actually videotaped something that was right there on the set at the time they were filming it. Almost like they were making their own little making of documentary right then and there, and you see all the behind the scenes stuff, and it's all on video, and it's pretty cool. I liked it.
And even though they already had the Balls Back and the Gory Days and a few other behind the scenes stuff, most of the stuff they show in here isn't repeats of those either. This is pretty much newer stuff, or they're extended scenes on a few things you've already seen.
What is that noise?
What, are you hearing that again?
Yeah, what is that?
So the next extra is called On the Set.
It's videotape of them being on the set.
And I love this. This is a really pretty long extra. They basically are showing like Angus Grimm getting out of the hearse, and he's rehearsing. You see him get out of the hearse and walk around to the back of it, open it up, and pull out the coffin, looking at it. And he keeps doing it over and over, just rehearsing to get it, down perfect. And then they have this whole thing about when the house explodes in the movie. So next up, we have basically the trailers from all 3 Phantasm movies.
Or the first 3, because there's 4 Phantasm movies. It was cool to see the theatrical trailer for Phantasm 2, but then I never really saw a trailer for Phantasm 3 or a movie trailer for it. And seeing it here, I was like, it's kind of funny because it's almost as if they put Phantasm 1 and Phantasm 2 together to make Phantasm 3, the trailer. And on top of that, it made me want to see Phantasm 3. Well, I want to see Phantasm 4 as well because I never saw it.
Finally, we have still galleries, behind the scenes, makeup, and effects poster stills. That's a lot to say.
And pretty much all of this is exactly what it says. There's still photos of behind the scenes and promo photos and the posters and the artwork and the billboards.
And finally, we get a rare treat for this Phantasm 2 Blu-ray. You know, Scream Factory never had to put this on here. I believe Angus Scrimm actually gave this extra to Scream Factory and said, hey, you want to go ahead and put this on your disc? And it's just, I mean, what can you say about it? It's incredible.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't expect that, and it was actually it was informative too.
And not on top of that, it was extremely well acted by Angus Scrimm.
He did a great job.
And what it is Angus Scrimm, believe it or not, playing Abraham Lincoln.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
I'd say this is at least 30, 35 minutes long. It's like a little short movie.
That's exactly what it is. It was like a short on Abraham Lincoln's life. It was just kind of condensed and when he was born all the way up through his presidency and his death.
And now we get through all those extras, but there's still more extras, Vince. It's just crazy.
Yep, there's at least 2 more here.
The next extra is the commentary.
There
Let's get into this. Well, there I am.
Handsome as always, debonair, suave.
And highly well coiffed, as you can see.
And there's Michael.
And there is Michael, yeah.
At his most boyish. How old was Mike then, Don?
I think he had turned 13. He started the movie when he was 11 and a half,
He was 5, I think.
Probably 13 by the time he finished.
I have to say, I really enjoyed this commentary, especially how it starts.
Everybody in this commentary, the director, the tall man, and Reggie, seemed like they had a blast making this film, and it was so fun through this entire commentary. I just love listening to it. And one thing I gotta say, Vince, is the scene between Reggie and the hitchhiker woman when they were having sex. My God, that was funny. When they were talking about it, and in the commentary for Balls Back, I was laughing so hard I was almost crying.
It's just hilarious. I mean, he just plays that part so well, and then to have this little thing happen to him in the movie and then him talk about it, it's just funny as heck.
After all these thousands of extras, we have one more Easter egg that is on this disc.
Yeah, and I actually found this one before Dave did.
And the fun part here is trying to find this. It's actually pretty difficult to find.
I found it pretty easy though, Dave.
Shut up, Vince. So, once again, what can I say about Scream Factory? I am in love with this company. They take great classic films and they make them 100 times better with the extras and the transfer and just everything about this. It just gets it gets a goal.
I mean, I don't know if we could give this any more than just, it's possibly one of the best Blu-rays I've seen in a long time, and it just makes me want to give it a golden machine!
All month long, as you know, we are doing horror films, so make sure you
Dave? Dave, you alright? What the hell? He was talking, then all of a sudden, he was gonna talk about all the Blu-rays we got.
Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round all day long. People on the bus go up and down, up and down, up and down. The people on the bus go up and down all day long.